Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in 2020, 2021, the peak years of T-Mobile deploying their N41 in my market, during those times, T-Mobile's activity levels were at its peak, very high. Lots of activity, lots of sites being touched, just lots of N41 being deployed. And then as well, during that time frame, they started deploying more backup generators to the sites as well. So you guys started seeing some of those videos. You started seeing the N41 go up. And now in 2022, we're now in May of 2022. A lot of the N41 sites, or a lot of the towers, I should say, have N41 deployed on them. Like 99% now have N41 across the board. There's like maybe one or two sites that don't have N41 deployed on them across the county. So now T-Mobile's activity levels very low. Not much happening. Not seeing much happening in the market anymore. And I started noticing that downtrend happening about two to 3 months ago or so. So during the time of 2020 and 2021, when T-Mobile was at its peak and very busy, Verizon was also still busy. They were still deploying fiber. They were still deploying small cells, which you will see in these pictures. And then they were still upgrading and tweaking some of their sites. They were adding the NR radios. They were getting the N5 low band 5G ready. They were doing all of that during 2021, 2022. And still, 2020, 21, and now still in 2022, Verizon is continuing to deploy small cells. So right now, Verizon is prepping to deploy the C-band at very large scale in my market, right? They didn't have access to that in 2020 or 2021. But now in 2022, since we are a part of the early clearing, they're going to start ramping up towards more the second half of the year. And they're going to get C-band on these sites very quickly. I've seen some of the prepping plans, 10 gigs, LS6 project, both CBRS and C-band going on the site. So very, very active. So Verizon really doesn't allow any down trending on their activities. Their activity levels are always high. And I call it, and I've seen some of you call it too, fine tuning the network. There's always something you can do on the network. There's null sectors. There's hidden traffic increases. People are always switching. New neighborhoods are being built that people are moving into. So there's always stuff adjusting on the network. So here what you're seeing is a 4G LTE small cell with CBRS radios on it that will sometime this year, I'm still told, move over to NR. So eventually the CBRS is going to aggregate with the NR bands of C-band and N5 as well. So that's going to be a huge capacity boost. And this small cell here that you're seeing is, of course, attached with millimeter wave, the Street Macro 6701. So that's happening still. They're going to the municipalities. They're gaining approval fairly quickly, and they're deploying it. They're building out this underlying millimeter wave network at a scale that no other competitor is doing it at in this market. I'm speaking anecdotally, and I'm speaking for my market. This right here is a small cell in progress. So you see the fiber stick sticking out. That's MCI, one fiber. And then to the right, you will see the cabinet. You see the VZW. And then below is the address of where the small cell is going. So I'll have to go back to get pictures. But that is the cabinet for the small cell. And then this small cell you're seeing here is in a very busy area. Verizon is insanely dense in this area. I would have to do it justice, I would have to go take a video to show you guys how dense Verizon really is in this area. So they're just adding on to the density with this small cell. From what I'm seeing on the ground there, it's still in progress, so it's not done. But they are furiously deploying and staying active throughout each capital year. There's something going on with Verizon. If they're not deploying wireless infrastructure, they're deploying fiber. If they're not deploying fiber, which they have to anyway, but with the wireless infrastructure going up in these small cells, they kind of simultaneously have to deploy both. If the fiber is not already trenched for that area, they have to trench fiber to where they're deploying these small cells. So there's always continuous investment from Verizon. Right now, with T-Mobile, it's kind of at a standstill. Again, I'm speaking anecdotally. There's not much happening right now. I know Neville referenced not too long ago that legacy small cells would be upgraded to 5G. So maybe I'll see some activity there on these strand mounts that they have deployed throughout the city, about 150 of them. That'll get swapped, radio swaps potentially. I don't see them changing out the strand mount altogether. I just potentially see them swapping out the radios, getting that upgraded if it's not already ready for it, to N66 or N25, N2, whatever the case may be there. I don't see them doing low band on those because low band usually requires larger equipment. The higher the frequency, the smaller the equipment. The lower the frequency, the bigger the equipment. So for it to be low band, it may require a larger radio of some sort, and it may not fit onto the strand mounts. But again, I'll definitely keep an eye out. But for now, during the peak times of when T-Mobile was deploying N41, Verizon continued to remain steady at deployments. They continued deploying small cells, and there's more of them popping up. So now, over time, 2020, 2021, and now 2022, they've been gradually deploying these. So now they're popping up in clusters. So now you can actually go through neighborhoods and you're connected to clusters of small cells because it took them that long to get all of this deployed. So if AT&T and T-Mobile will eventually have to shift towards this type of deployment, it's going to take them way longer to catch Verizon versus Verizon catching them on midband. Midband is just going on the existing grid. That's going to be quick. In about 99% of my market, where the sites were not skipped with NR radios, it's literally a slap and go for Verizon. They go to the site, they add C-band, and that's it. They have to do nothing else at the site because they have the 4449 Ericsson radios are already deployed, so it's modernized. The panels that are up on the sites are good to go for that. So the radios are upgraded and modernized. They just now add C-band panel, connected, and they're leaving. They're done. They might have to upgrade the circuit or the router to 10 gigs, but that could all be a part of that. I'm told in some cases on a weekly basis, they can do 10, 20 sites easily, that fast. And they can complete single sites within hours, the crews, the tower crews. So stay tuned to the channel. I just wanted to point that out, that as T-Mobile's activity is downtrending, Verizon has maintained steady. And like I said, there's always fine-tuning and planning that you can do. And I'm not saying that T-Mobile is not planning, because of course we don't have a look behind the scenes, but usually carriers plan about 2 years out for future traffic, future increases. And I'm in contact with the team right now, telling them about a neighborhood here because that's expanding further north. And the neighborhood now has traffic and houses and people are moving in, and T-Mobile still has no site in that area where Verizon already adjusted and added a site. That kind of shows you, how serious and how much pride Verizon takes in their network. They don't want any issues of that kind. So they're building and they see, okay, there's traffic there now. We see there's users. Okay, we need to adjust and we need to put a site there. And that's just how quickly they do it. So to them, fine-tuning, fixing null sectors, and getting the neighborhoods and the user experience to where it's just flawless, that's their mission. And that's what they're displaying here. They're constantly doing something. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Look forward to reading your comments. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow my social media outlets for more updates and interactions. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.